Hi there, I'm Adam Kirbas and this is my novel, Listen. Lucy Knight is heading to the FBI headquarters. She still feels uncomfortable that she has to leave her home, her place, her safe haven to someone she barely knows. She needs to get off these thoughts. This is her life. She puts herself at risk. Who knows what this person might do? And she hates herself. She hates herself again and again. This is self-hatred. Self-hatred which makes days unbearable. Right at the moment she gets a phone call. It's Glenn Chase, her partner. He informs her that there is a homicide and that before she goes to the office, drives to the office, she should head straight to the homicide scene. It all appears as if they wanna make sure that Lucy does not come close to the FBI headquarters. As if they want to prevent that people see her, get a glimpse of her, who knows, who might be watching closely, who enters the FBI and who not. Maybe the media or anyone else you can think about are waiting for her right now. This all seems weird, but Lucy, she obeys. She has to comply. There is no other way. She is cornered. She's at retreat. And Glenn Chase, her reluctant partner, he doesn't seem to be thrilled working with her. In the beginning, Lucy can remember, in the beginning Glenn courted her. He helped her. He was very forthcoming. He even made a lot of compliments on Lucy's beauty. But after he found out that Lucy has a lot of male admirers, this is what they call it, male admirers, and that Lucy would be engaged in many sexual adventures, things changed. Things changed dramatically. Glenn wasn't willing anymore to be around Lucy. He looked at her differently. He looked at her as someone looks at something disgusting, uncomfortable, something unsoothing. And Glenn was actually not the first choice to become Lucy's partner, but others had either the prowess to talk them out of working with Lucy, or that they had just influence, but no man wanted to work with her. Lucy ponders over these things. What is going to wait for her? She drives to the address Glenn gave her. She gets out of the car. Glenn is already waiting for her. And again, there is this look in his face. He stares at her. He stares at her mouth. Lucy heard one of those nasty things they say about her, that with her mouth she probably knows how to suck a dick. She heard what they say behind her back, that she probably got a job in the FBI because she's a tongue twister. And all the men laughed. And probably Glenn right at this very moment, thinks or imagines whose penis Lucy had in her mouth last night. Lucy somehow feels or assumes that maybe the FBI has close tabs on her. Maybe they know that she still can't free herself, that she still needs the attention, that she still needs someone to spend the night with. Maybe they know that she's mortally scared of being alone. Or they still assume that she's a sex addict, that she can't deal with her cravings. Lucy tries to greet Glenn cordially. There is no other way. You have to put in a smile, thinks Lucy to herself. I can't do anything. She occasionally thought maybe she should play hard cop. Maybe she should put on a severe facial expression. Maybe she should do anything against it. But then more and more she thought about it. And she came to the conclusion that she has nothing against him. She can't do nothing against him. Because once a woman is stamped as a whore, there is nothing she can do to change people's minds. Some men will avoid her, and there are of course men who will seek her vicinity just for the purpose to have a go on her. Whores are being considered easy to get into bed, and maybe they think that way of her. Glenn starts his report. The victim, Karen Leaves, 40, was found in her home, dead, and as it looks like, tortured. The neighbor, Mrs. Dawson, knocked. She knew Karen Leaves very closely. She knocked. There was no response. And that is why she opened the door and saw a gruesome sight. She immediately called the police. Forensics say that Karen Leaves died about 7 to 10 hours ago. Lucy looks at her watch. It is 7 a.m. in the morning. Very early. She's a very early starter. And she's thoughtful. Mrs. Dawson, who knocked in the morning, she didn't wait until there would be a sign of proof or whatever. She just opened the door with a spare key. This is all strange, because ordinary people wait. Maybe she would be sleeping. Glenn seems to have caught Lucy's thoughts, her doubts. Mrs. Dawson and Karen Leaves would always have breakfast together. And Karen was known to be depressive. She has been unemployed for 5 years. Lucy is thoughtful. She looks around in the neighborhood. It is an old, worn-down neighborhood. no fancy thing. And it actually doesn't happen common that you find dead people in these neighborhoods. Mostly on the streets. They die either on an overdose of drugs or they are being shot because some fuck thought they are wealthy or that they would have money. But when they try to rob them and figure out that they do not have anything at all, then some people lose it all. Lose it because of their despair, because of the life choices they made, whatever they have, because it is hopeless. And they pull the trigger. Lucy and Glenn ascend the stair. Every tread they made on the stair case makes a creaking sound. It is an old wood chair stair. It is outside. A wood stair that is outside, which is influenced by the weather, by summer heat, by winter heat. Wood works, despite the fact it was used and is used for the construction. Wood still works, it moves, because wood has still, after it was cut off from a tree or killed, if you want, has still some residue of humidity in it, and which leads to movements, or in some cases to distortions. So every step on the stair makes a creaking sound. So no matter who passed here, walked here, his threats are audible. Lucy imagines the murderer who probably either came here or left here at about 10-11 p.m. Someone must have heard him. But it is a very loud neighborhood. You can hear cars already, despite the fact that it is 7 a.m. You hear sirens, car horns. You hear some cars passing by, driving fast or very loudly. Lucy enters the home. It is a home, small apartment, nothing fancy. Lucy immediately gets aware of the dust lying around. It is a place that is not very cleaned. Quite often there is dust, even on the floor and in every corner. There is trash lying around, fast food, occasionally. And the home looks like someone probably did not much care about interior design. There are drapes with different colors. The drapes are closed, another indication that it was night when the murderer came in here. But after all, this is a cheap furniture. And despite the fact that the victim was an unemployed, she was not a hoarder. So the apartment is scarcely furnished, as if it wouldn't have mattered anymore. And there are not enough chairs to comfort any guests. And after all,